Hey guys, you're watching Boogie Plays Games, or sometimes Boogie Plays Games, and today we're going to do something that's fairly similar to playing the game. We're going to be cracking packs of Magic the Gathering, and this is the third box. If you missed the first one, it's over on the main channel. If you missed the second unboxing, well, that's somewhere here on this channel. And feel free to go back and watch them. I think you'll be really glad that I do. There's tons of unboxings on the channel, but none quite as exciting as these boxes have turned out to be. These boxes have turned out to be the nuts. My God. We've been filming it live here on Twitch where we have 2,700 people watching, and they have been watching with their mouths agape because we're opening every good card there is. It's insane. Now, I haven't opened a Jace yet. Did we get a Wasteland? I don't think we've gotten a Wasteland out of the first two boxes. There's still plenty of cards to get, and I'm hoping that we'll get them here. I won't be sorting out the rares or the foils. I will be leaving the packs together so that me and my friends can draft them at some point over the weekends. Though some of these cards are valuable enough to where I'm not sure that I'm comfortable people drafting them. Here's our foil for the first pack. It's gaseous form. Second rare, or first rare, unexpectedly absent. Unexpectedly crappy rare there. But I expect this box to be a letdown. And if it is, I promise I'll cry really bad at the end. Because the last two boxes were so incredible. Here's our Dream Twist. That is just strictly better than a lot of unsummoning effects. No, that's not the unsummon effect. This is Dream Twist. Target player puts the top 3 cards of his or her library into his or her graveyard. And you can flash it back for 2 mana. So mill 6 for 3 mana. Meh. Boring. There's Sulfuric Vortex as our rare, which has literally been reprinted to the point of worthlessness. But that's okay. Boy, they sure do like to reprint that card, and I don't know why. I guess they're worried about that life gain. They don't want that Soul Sisters deck running around. There's a foil Duress, and I have dozens of foil Duresses, but it's nice to have another one. Why not? Wow, there is our rare, and that's a card going for a few bucks. Shardless Agent. It's been reprinted once before, and then originally printed in a Commander deck, if I believe. Why was that not in Shards? That could have been in Shards. Oh, I guess Shards is more about ally colors. I wonder if we'll ever go back to Shards. And if we do, can we go to other weird color combinations and get more stuff like Shardless Agent? I don't know why a blue-green card has Cascade, though. Coalition Honor Guard. 4 cast to cost 2/4. Human Flag Bearer. Weird foil. I've never seen that card before. I did not play during that set. Our rare is Void. Always been a big fan of that card, and I do like that art better than the other art. If you asked me what the other art was right now, I couldn't tell you. I don't know what the hell the other art is. That at least I could just recognize as a guy. There's like some guy on it. That's what I would tell you. What is the original Void art? Hell if I know. Here's an Elephant Guide. Who? Elephant Guide, Boogie, is that you? Are you the elf? Are you an Elephant Guide? Yeah, sure, whatever, dude. I had to make a fat joke on that one. Here's our rare. It's Duplicant. Very, very, very commonly played Commander card. Don't know if that's in any Eternal formats. But next up, we have the Honden of Infinite Rage. When we draft this set, I look forward to drafting the Hondens. I really like the Hondens, and I think they're super cool. Here's Winter Orb. And as I said in the first video, in case you missed it, this is the first time Winter Orb, to my knowledge, has been printed with correct Oracle text. So that's very cool to have. Very cool to have. Next up is, well, that's a cool foil to have. Trigon Predator. Trigon, take me away. No one's going to get that reference. If you get that reference, let me know in the comment section, but you didn't. Trust me. Trigon Predator, I've always been a big fan of this card. I like that art better than the Ravnica one, I think. Just sucks that it doesn't have the shiny Ravnica symbol, you know, for the Simic in the section there. I wonder if they're ever reprinted where you have that. There's our second Sylvos. We got him out of the second box. So he's also redundant at this point. Good card to draft with, though. Here is Mog War Marshal. Huge fan of this card. Greater Gargadon and that card used to be best friends. Here's Necropotence, a card that has now been reprinted several times. I do love this Necropotence art, though I did love the original. I have a funny story about Necropotence. When Necropotence got printed in Ice Age before people realized how broken it was, I tried to break it. So we're talking the card had been out for a week. And I knew Ivory Tower was a card, so obviously Ivory Tower would work well in Necropotence. You'll gain 3 life, get to draw 3 cards. That seems like a no-brainer. But what if you had a bunch of cards in your hand? So I also tried to combine it with Library of Ling, which says you don't have to discard. The reason you don't have to discard with Library of Ling, though, is you skip your discard phase. So you never had an opportunity to get the cards you paid life for. So I built this deck, and I thought it was brilliant. Ivory Tower, Necropotence, or Necropotence, I guess is how some people pronounce it, and Library of Ling, except Library of Ling destroyed the combo. And I got so disgusted with it, I traded off my Necropotences and decided I would never try to play it again, and then the card tripled in value because it was incredible. There's our foil, and our foil is Mother of Runes, Mother of God. Nice foil. Wow. And our rare is 8.5 Tails. Great card. Wow, that's a great pack. I would like to draft with that pack. Which would you take? Mother of Runes. That seems obvious. Not, you know, if you were drafting that pack, and not for value, but drafting it to win, I think Mother of Runes is the right call. I do like 8.5 Tails, though. There's a Seal of Strength. A lot of seals in this set, I think. There's one of my favorite cards ever printed, a Regal Force. When it comes to the play, draw a card for each green creature you control. That card gets nuts. And if you open this in this draft format, then you draft elves. Just pay attention, kids. You draft elves if you open this in Eternal Masters. Because that card's insane. That's a 4, 5, 6, 7 casting cost 5, 5. And you'll draw at least 1 card off of it because it is a green creature. So, very good card. Here is our foil. Foil rare, but it's Goblin Trenches. This box is not as good as the last one. Our rare is Future Sight. So, I wonder what a foil Goblin Trenches is worth. I'm going to say $2. Probably worth slightly less than that Future Sight, which is also not worth much. But it was bound to happen. We had to run out of luck sometime. There's a Jungle Hollow as our rare, or as our foil. There's Sylvan Library, though. That's worth a couple bucks still, probably 15 or 20 in the neighborhood. Nice to have that. Nothing big yet, though, and we're about halfway through the box. So, we've seen a Force of Will in our first 2 boxes. How great would it be to get one out of each box to get a playset? Won't happen, but how cool would that be? That's the dream, kids. That's the dream we're going to try to keep alive. Relic of Progenitus. There he is. Jace the Mind Sculptor, the Planeswalker that warped the standard format it was in, the modern format so that he had to be banned, and still defines Eternal formats to this day, continues to hold probably a $50, $60 price tag if I had to guess, and is still the only Planeswalker with 4 abilities. They're afraid to print another one with 4 abilities. That has not yet happened yet, and I look forward to the day that they finally do. But boy, what a warping card. So, very nice to pull that one there. Very nice. I do still have some Jace's. I'll tell you a story about Jace in just a moment. Here's one of my favorite red-blue cards. Desperate Ravings. Big fan of that card. And our rare is one of my favorite kill spells for Cube. Why is this card not more valuable? It's so incredible. This has to get played. Destroy target non-black creature for black and black, and if something else already died this turn, you can kill 2 things. Why is that card not more valuable? For black, it's one of the cheapest kill spells in the game. I love that card. What is wrong with that card? So there's this kid who came into our local gaming store for his birthday, and he was playing against a guy, and the kid is kind of leaning back at his table, and he accidentally kicks the table, knocking his opponent's cell phone on the ground. And he's got like an old iPhone, but an old iPhone is expensive to repair. Cracks the guy's screen, and the guy is like, "You owe me money for this iPhone." Da-da-da-da-da. Well, how much is it going to cost? He goes, "You owe me $100. If you don't, I'm going to kill you." You know. And so the kid gives him $100 to fix his screen, and he starts crying because the guy leaves with his $100, and it was his birthday. It was that kid's birthday. And I say kid, he's like a college student. He's like 18, 19. But he leaves because it's his birthday, and that was his birthday money that he had gotten that he was going to spend, and he had to replace that kid's screen. Well, that kid had asked me earlier if I would trade away my Jace, and I had a 5th Jace, from drafting the shit out of the Zendikar sets. I think Jace is originally in Worldwake, and I drafted a lot of Worldwake. So I went ahead and gave the kid the card, which was about $80 or $90 at the time. And he was like so ecstatic. He was like so happy. And I'm like, man, it's your birthday. You deserve good things to happen. You deserve, good things. I'm so sorry that you had a bad experience at our store, but I want you to be happy and I want you to have a good day. And it's just a little bit of money off, out of my collection, and I'm glad to share with you. And so he was ecstatic. Then my friend showed me up. He literally went out to the ATM machine and got $100 out of the machine and gave it to that kid for that kid's birthday. So I gave him a piece of cardboard. My friend, Sam, one of the most generous people I've ever met. Sam, I hope you see this video because I still tell this story this day. Gave him $100 out of his pocket. And that's our local Magic community. That's our local gaming community. We take care of each other. We love each other. And I'm so glad to be proud of it. I'm so glad to be a part of it. I'm so glad that we foster such a wonderful, positive, great community. There's a Screeching Scab. There is a Jareth. Boring pack, though. Jace now does not retain that $100 value that he was at the time, and now he's probably about $65. But I hope that kid made good use of it. Here's one of my favorite cards ever printed. 2 casting cost, 2/1 flying, Skulking Ghost. It was a flyer in black, a cheap flyer in black. It was a cheap creature when there weren't very many powerful creatures at the time that this got printed. I love this as a fairly decent aggro creature. And hey, if something's going to target, it's probably going to kill it anyway in standard. So why wasn't that a good card? I wish they used the Skulk ability more often. I guess it's the illusionary ability, and they use it in blue occasionally now. But I love that effect. I love that effect so much. I wish they did more of it, and I wish they did more of it in black. Here's Wrath of God, which is a card that's been reprinted so many times. I have probably 100 Wrath of Gods. You can't even give them away anymore, it seems like. I know it's still got some value because it's a very popular card, but that card was printed so many times. I have certainly owned 500 Wrath of Gods that I've then opened and sold and opened and sold and opened and traded and opened and sold. Crazy that card has been reprinted that many times. Then, of course, Day of Judgment replaced it, and they reprinted Day of Judgment 1,000,000 times, too. So I have that effect 1,000,000,000 times. There's Second Thought. There's King Brago. Really interesting to see Wrath of God reprinted here, but I think it is a card that people do want to get a hold of. There's Wonder, as in I wonder why they reprinted that. There's another Isochron Scepter. Now, we're opening a lot of good cards here. Not a lot of extremely valuable cards, though. But it's still a great box. But I love this game. It's so funny. I could probably tell you stories about my Magic the Gathering experiences and the people that I've met through Magic and the lifelong friendships that have been forged from Magic. I could spend hours telling you stories about this game. The game itself is incredible. And I love this game. And I love playing it. And I play it on a weekly basis and have for 21 years. But what is really valuable to this game, to me, is the people that play it. And, I could tell you stories about tournaments that I played in, and I could tell you about the card interactions. But more things that I can tell you about is the people that went with me to those tournaments, and the decks that we played, and the times that we had, and the traveling, and the stories we told in the car. And that's what really, really seals this game to me. Because it's not just a great game, but the community that surrounds it is so wonderful. And I could probably tell you 1,000,000 stories. I could fill hours and hours of my gaming channel up with stories about this game. I love that Honden. One of my favorite Hondens. It's a little overpriced, I think, but there's Toxic Deluge. I think Toxic Deluge is probably still $10 or $15. This was only reprinted. Has only ever been printed in Commander, and definitely is very, very useful in all of the Eternal formats, Legacy and Vintage. I think it sees placed both those places, so that's probably 15. I think. Great card either way. Here is a foil Mishra's Factory. Wow. Now, I have Mishra's Factories that I've had since Antiquities. I've got, the summer, the spring, the fall, the winter. I have them all. And I like this one more, I think. I don't like the modern frame that much. I wish I could get this with the old frame. But the one that's in my cube is just a revised one. because I don't want to play with my summer, spring, or fall, or any of them. I don't want to play with any of them. I want to keep them in the folder. So I might replace the basic revised or white bordered factory with that one, I think. But it just looks so generic. And there's our rare. There's our rare Caracas. Or as I heard some YouTuber pronounce it yesterday, Caracas. Which I don't think is correct. I think it's Caracas. Great card. I think that's 85, 90 bucks probably. Nice pull. As an artifact of having played this game for so long, I personally opened a box of Legends when it was first printed. Then I opened half a box with a friend, and then I opened another box of Legends in Italian. But then, back when I was making money at the beginning of the 2099, 98, 99, 2000, the beginning of the dot-com boom, I actually managed to buy a lot of people's collections, and they would have Legends cards in them, so they would have Caracases. So I think to this day, I probably still have 5 or 6 Caracases. So, I'm glad that card retains its value. But it was only an uncommon in Legends. So it seems so weird to me when an uncommon like that becomes so valuable. And it's really only valuable because of course, the Commander format. Karmic Guide. Has our rare there. And then here's, I think, our last 2 packs. I'll try to go through this a little quicker. But I don't know if you prefer just to see the cards or if you like to hear the stories. So, I don't know which is more valuable, to use the cards or the stories. There's Elite Vanguard. I used to think, I can't believe. Yay! A card I have never owned. I have never owned a single Mana Crypt. I finally have one. I think this is the most valuable card in the set, at clocking in right around 100 bucks. And that makes this box pay for itself between Jace and the Mana Crypt and the various other foils and commons, or foils and rares. I finally own my very first Mana Crypt after all these years. Absolutely incredible. Absolutely incredible. Wow. I'm going to kiss it. I'm going to kiss it. I can't believe I've always wanted that card. I've always been super jealous of people who own that card. And I finally have one. Oh, that feels good. That's one of the biggest holes in my collection. I'm so glad to finally have one. Now, I have a proxy one in the cube, so I'll be able to replace the proxied one. Somebody's saying the box is now totaling almost 400 bucks. Here's our last pack. Orcish Oriflamme. A card that was on the original ban list, and I never figured out why. I guess because of the alternative casting cost version. I like that art very well. I like that art quite a bit. And our final rare is Inkwell Leviathan. What another incredible box. What another incredible box. Well, guys, we'll have one more box for you. What an incredible set. I wish they did this yearly. I wish they did more of these reprints like this. I'm so grateful that they do them. Wizards of the Coast, thank you for giving me an opportunity to pull these cards again. I hope you keep this coming. I really do. It's one of the most exciting things in the world for me. Guys, thanks for watching. I love you very much, and I'll speak with you again soon.